Hello everybody, welcome back to another reading. Today we're taking a look at the case of 14-year-old Lindsey Jill Nicholls, who disappeared on August 2nd, 1993 from her group home in Royston Road, which is in the Comox Valley in British Columbia, Canada. She had actually been sent there after she ran away from her new home that her family had just moved into in Comox in April of 1993. Her father, Mark Nicholls, was an officer with the RCMP, meaning that every time that he was stationed somewhere else, his entire family had to pack up and move with him. So when they moved in the summer of 1992 to Comox, she had a big issue with that because she had to leave her friends behind, which is why she ran away in April to stay with a friend in Delta. And it was at this group home on the morning of August 2nd that she had an argument with her foster mother around 10:30 a.m. She walked down the driveway along Royston Road east toward Highway 19A, which was the last time that anybody saw her. She said she was headed to visit a friend in Courtenay, 10 kilometers away, to celebrate the long weekend, but Lindsey never arrived. And although Lindsey had previously run away, her foster mother said to the police that she didn't think that she planned to disappear because she had left behind her possessions. Now, a total of 400 tips would be received over the course of the investigation up until now. In 2011, police received a tip that led them to search a property on Royston Road, but nothing of value was found. An excavation was done on a rural property in Comox in August 2016, involving 20 forensically trained RCMP officers, but because the investigation is still active, they have not published any results. In May 2017, her case was featured, along with several other cases, by the Missing Children Society of Canada. And in 2018, Lindsey's mother, Judy Peterson, set up 2 billboards along the Old Island Highway just outside of Courtenay. She was inspired by the movie 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, hoping to prompt drivers to call authorities with any information that they may have. The billboards read, "Missing 25 years, someone knows something," and "Call Comox Valley RCMP or Crime Stoppers." The RCMP says that the investigation is still ongoing and undergoes regular reviews, but despite the fact that they have received more than 400 tips, excavated 3 different sites, and administered 15 polygraph tests to potential suspects, no sign of Lindsey has ever been discovered since her disappearance. And that is why I was asked to do a reading on this using the tarot. And we're going to start off with the Deviant Moon deck, which is already on the table. And for any further questions, moving on to the Vice Versa deck, which is this one. So as per usual, I'm going to start shuffling the deck. As soon as I have about a table full of cards, we're going to stop and take a look. So without much further ado, let's get started. All right, so when we're looking at the first couple of cards, we see the 2 of Wands in reverse and the 8 of Wands right next to that, and then Chariot on its side. This sounds like, at least what comes up to mind here, is that she tried to go to her friend's place, but she found the way to be difficult. She hadn't planned, of course, beforehand, and maybe she found now that it was actually kind of difficult getting around on foot. It is 10 kilometers, which is quite a track. It's doable on foot, but it's more like it's easier if you have a car, of course. But anyway, so they maybe were too stubborn to go back and ask to get a ride or something, but They found that there was some difficulty getting around where she wanted to go. Then we have an 8 of Wands and a Chariot on its side. This looks to me like somebody wanted to either send a message, or maybe she wanted to send a message to her friend that maybe it's going to take a while. But I'm also seeing this as somebody getting her attention and going, hey, you know what, you don't have to do all this work. I can drop you off if you want. Like, this could be somebody who stopped the car to talk to her and said, hey, I can help out. Where are you going, etc., etc. Because the Chariot is movement. It's not quite the 6 of Swords, but the 6 of Swords is on the second row. I've already seen that one coming up in the future. So I'm thinking this is where she accepts her ride, which is a little dubious. We have the 9 of Cups, so we're feeling pretty good about it. And then we have the Queen of Cups in reverse and a 2 of Pentacles. Okay, so they may at this point be discussing where to go, how to do things, etc. like that. And oh, the Queen of Cups was in the middle there. So with the 9 of Cups, this seems like a very welcome offer, something that she was really hoping to get. And of course, the Queen of Cups in reverse, maybe the person driving, giving her an even more ideal version of what that would look like. And then we have a weighing option at the end with the 2 of Pentacles. So this is, I think, where Lindsey is considering her choices, if she really wants to go with this person, or if maybe she could like try to catch a bus or something. I don't know what she was planning on. Don't know if there are even any buses in the area. But I think she kind of weighed her options here on the end. And the Queen of Cups won out ultimately because we see, like I said, on the second row, the 6 of Swords, which is her going to another location, perhaps with somebody else guiding her there. Definitely a passive rider in this case. And I think this ride felt good because they are leaving an area that is destroyed. As you can see, it's on fire, toward an area that looks much more peaceful. At least it's not burning and broken. So she may be feeling like this is going to help her put some distance between her and her foster mother and the bad situation that she wanted to leave there. We have a King of Pentacles in reverse and the Hermit in reverse. Okay, so King of Pentacles is usually very practically minded. And then we have Hermit in reverse. So she cannot hide from whatever this King of Pentacles is talking about, suggesting, maybe also perhaps saying, hey, you know what, gas isn't free. What can we do about that? Like something like that. And she's not allowed to take a break, possibly to think about her options, which is something you often see with manipulators as well. They really put the pressure on so that you can't like go away and think about things. It has to be done right now. The decision has to be made right now. But she is working against them, or they are working against her. But in any case, it's not quite an easy exchange here with this 3 of Pentacles in reverse as well. She may have decided to do something that this person would not like, and the person themselves has also decided to do something that she would not like. So it's not quite like on the surface they're working together, they're agreeing with each other, but secretly they've all got their own thoughts about the situation. So she may be thinking that she's going to pull a fast one on this person, and the other person is thinking to do the same. We have a Page of Pentacles over here. That means we have an unexpected expense, maybe. Suddenly something cost a little more. There's maybe an act by the person driving, because the next 2 cards we see here are the Fool in reverse and the 5 of Swords in reverse. Now the Fool in reverse is actually very careful with what it is that's going on around them. They will not just walk into something without looking twice to see what's going on. They want to be on guard. And then we have the 5 of Swords, which I see as internal struggles. Maybe she's arguing with herself. Maybe she's keeping tabs internally. Like, oh, he's doing this, he's doing that. I'm going to keep track of that. I'm going to try to memorize a license plate. Or they're just heavily disagreeing with this person, but they're not saying it out loud because everything is kept private, possibly because they're already feeling like they're in trouble. These last 2 cards do seem like her trying to be as smart as possible about the situation, even though she knows that there is an issue. Just trying to keep her eyes open and deal with it the best way that she can. Let's see what happens next. Okay, a lot, apparently. Let's see, we start off with the Six of Cups in reverse. Somebody may see something and have some negative connotations with that. This could be a bystander, but it could also be I'm going to call them a perpetrator now, seeing something in Lindsey that reminds them of something in the past. Maybe they are reminded of somebody that they used to have problems with, and Lindsey is triggering something within them. Because of that, let's see, we have quite a few cards here. I think it's all of these. The Seven of Swords in reverse. All right, so we are walking away after stabbing somebody in the back. Literally, it could be that this is a remembrance. This could be what they are remembering. Somebody who lied to them, maybe locked them out from something good. This is the Sun over here. This person of the past may have actually kept them from experiencing better times. Like maybe they got dumped, maybe they never actually accepted them as a partner, something like that. But now we have this radiant new person who may be looking a lot like this other person. This may seem like a second chance because we are seeing a lot of images of things floating and being immaterial, but kind of like I was looking at the stars over here in the top left. Like maybe this is some type of spiritual thing for them. Like, oh, the stars have aligned in such a way that we are now together. Like this person may have all sorts of ideas about fate and that type of thing. And that's why they're like, oh my God, there she is. And now we've got all these wishes because this is Seven of Cups, which is usually like a wishes card, wishing for things. And this seems like I've been here all this time. Here you are. Like this radiant person walks back into their life. And again, with the shooting star. So I'm thinking that they may have had some very odd ideas about what Lindsey was and what she was there to do. We have a burden that we are about to cast off. And then we have the Six of Pentacles. We're giving some charity here, which in light of the previous cards also kind of strikes me as let me do right by you, where I didn't manage to do right by the other person, like that. So they're going to be charitable, but they also have a burden that they want to cast off, like they're projecting a lot onto her, what she needs to fix by allowing him to do whatever it is that they feel like they still needed to do. Interesting so far. Let's see what else we can get. Okay, are you guys dropping? No. A lot of cards coming out in bunches. All right, so we have the Eight of Wands again. We had that one earlier. But in this case, we're moving pretty fast. I don't think this is a communication thing. They may be communicating with her like, hey, this is what we're going to do. But I see a lot of ideas for initiative here. And the green leaves in particular showing new ideas, new shoots, basically things arising that they want to deal with as soon as possible. But we have here the Four of Swords, which is taking a break from all of that. I think this is her basically pushing back, saying, you know what, actually, I don't want to participate in whatever this is. It's not for me. So, and then we have here the Seven of Pentacles and the Page of Swords. Okay, so that seems like a rejection taken very badly. And also a I knew this would happen type of vibe from this person. Kind of snapping out of the illusion or just deepening it, but then in a more negative spiral way. Like if you have somebody in front of you who is spiraling, appears to be positive, but only because they are stuck in their own mind about what is happening and what needs to be done. And you say, actually, no, you basically pull on the handbrake of the train that's going in their mind. They're like, oh, okay, so, but now we're going to go the opposite direction, but we're still not really in the present, but we are going to have to deal with this in a different way. So I'm seeing the negative spiral here with this Seven of Pentacles. Maybe also, again, in the comparison with this other person from the past, like, yeah, that's what happened last time. I knew this would happen. This is something that's been meant to happen all along or something like that. So we're still not out of that fantasy world, maybe. And then we have this Page of Swords in reverse. And the person themselves even looks kind of angry. I know it's upside down, but let me flip it. He does not look, he looks determined, but not quite there at the same time. So since the swords suit is thoughts and words, I'm guessing this is some aggravated lying, some hastily spoken words, maybe some choice words among that as well. They may be ranting and raving at her because the page is still not quite mature, so there may be all sorts of thoughts being spoken that were not quite fully worked out and therefore may not make a lot of sense to Lindsey, but they are very fiery and passionate about that. Let's see what we got here. 5 swords again. Okay, so we do have to answer some questions here, but it's on its side, so I'm going to put it on its side as well. Maybe this is evading the truth, and this is temperance. Okay, so we're trying to perhaps look at the position from, or at least the situation from their point of view, and trying to calm things down and maybe go along with whatever delusion is happening here so that she has a chance of escaping them later down the line, trying to placate them, playing along to keep them, I guess, less dangerous. I don't know where they are exactly in this situation, but it could be that they were still driving, and if somebody's angry and delusional behind the wheel, you want to make sure to calm them down to prevent worse things from happening. But I'm kind of seeing that type of situation over here, like they're ranting, raving, and then Lindsey's like, okay, it's fine. Yeah, sure. I guess I have some comparable qualities to this other person, and you know, like trying to keep them calm like that. Let's see what else we can get. Oh yeah, we're also taking a caring role, the Empress. So this person may have needed somebody to give them a hug, pat them on the back, tell them that they're doing great, etc. And she is just trying to fulfill that need, like I said, to try and prevent worse things from happening. Couple over here. Page of Cups. All right, so negative surprise that pops up rather quickly. We have the Tower in reverse and Temperance in reverse as well. Okay. Some negative surprise here, and that leads to quite a disaster and a loss of temper over here. But the Tower is in reverse. Could be that they are trying not to let go of something, but I'm thinking this is more denying that something big has just happened that is irreversible, like to the point of possibly losing your mind in that sense. I mean, if you look at this tower as well, the tower is being attacked by a UFO. I mean, if you were to see that happening in real life, you probably would be in denial, at least incredulous in that moment. So in this scenario, they're like, no, that's definitely not happening. This isn't real. This isn't happening right now. Just unable to accept what is going on. Oop. These felt over here. Okay, Ace of Pentacles. All right. Trying something new. We're trying to get back together, trying to be, I guess, agreeable again. Now, most of these characters have eyes that are pretty striking, but this one in particular with the Ace of Pentacles is very striking, like really staring down, and she may have been looking at them as indeed a predator that she had to somehow keep calm. While giving up, I guess, resources, time, whatever it is that they wanted, like whatever it is that they wanted, she would have to agree with. And again, with this Two of Cups as well, trying to basically keep them calm as best as possible, even though you're in a situation where you do actually not want to be anywhere near this person. You've got no choice right now. Working very hard on that, very diligently as well with this Eight of Pentacles. Going through the motions, maybe also employing some experience from the past, maybe things that they've heard in the past, tips about how to handle certain people in certain situations. But I'm looking at the clock over there, which is just a few minutes to midnight, so it could also be that this is like a last-ditch effort. And everything has to be done under a lot of pressure, with a lot of heat as well over here with that liquid metal. I think that's what that is. But then we have the star in reverse, which I often see with these cases as somebody disappearing from the public eye. So this perpetrator may at this point have decided to take her off the streets, no longer be out there for anybody else to see or find. Maybe they've arrived at this second or third location where nobody else is going to find her. So somewhere remote, maybe. Okay, quite a few cards. So I'm guessing these are the last cards for our first stage of the reading to see what happened. And then next we'll go into if we're going to find out more about where she is, or if we're going to learn more about the case eventually. So we've got the 10 of Pentacles, which is normally like some type of inheritance or something like that. But we see that there is an oppressed person underneath this board. The chessboard. I think whoever took her has quite a bit of wealth, actually. Maybe not necessarily this amount of wealth. Like this looks like a very luxurious location, except that there is a person holding up the board instead of an actual table. But this person has maybe its own or their own place where she could easily be hidden away. But there is that big radiant door in the distance. Like there is so much wealth here, or at least she is comfortable, quote unquote, but she knows that she is trapped and that door in the background might as well not be there because there's no way she's going to be able to leave. And despite the place that she finds herself in, her circumstances are still quite poor, so maybe she's being kept as some type of, I don't know, like a maid or somebody in a small shed or somewhere where luxury is withheld, basically. And they kind of pretend like she's not even there. They're kind of treating her like a piece of furniture, an object that just happens to be there, but they have no particular connection to. We have the wheel over here, Wheel of Fortune. Occasionally she may try her luck. And what happens after that? We get some struggling as well. She may have tried to get to that door then in that case. But that led to a lot of struggle and also a loss of some type of position as well. Like the Six of Wands is cheering somebody on, but it's in reverse. So I'm guessing her escape attempt was noticed and they struggled to bring her back in, which they were successful in. But now she has lost quite a lot of goodwill with these people. I'm guessing there's at least one, but there could be two at this point. Even though she is trying her best to be as pleasant as possible over here with this Ace of Cups, which is giving me Empress vibes. But they're trying some way to, I guess, please them more. But the result of that is still that she is trapped and constantly guarded, I guess, also kept under lock and key, because the Seven of Wands is also kind of like somebody coming for your position, being challenged like that. So she's permanently being watched now with no chance of actually leaving. All right, let's go back to the Vice Versa deck and see if we'll ever find out more about what her fate was, where her location is, etc. We have the Ace of Pentacles. All right, this is already a fairly bright and positive start here. Looks like a fancy garden somewhere. And I'm wondering if this is like referencing a new excavation site that they may have come across at some point, that they're now like hoping will give them some more answers. Okay, and we have the Three of Pentacles as well. The person that is in control of the site may work with authorities in this case to allow them to search the area. That's also positive. They keep popping out. We have the Knight of Pentacles working on this day and night because it's nighttime over there and the area is quite large and looking quite desolate, but still they persevere. We have the Ace of Swords in reverse. Maybe this is the communication about the event being less than ideal. It could also be that they are not letting the people know because we already saw that way a previous excavation. Or maybe this is the excavation that they found something at and they didn't want to communicate the results. But there is going to be something similar to that, either a new one or this is referencing the previous one. Flipped out, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Okay, so somebody may be lying, but also trying to look away because we are looking at the back of the Queen of Cups. Somebody who may have been involved in this somehow might have decided to bow out of this investigation, does not want to actually talk to anybody about it, may also try to convince people that it's not the right thing to do, or trying to stay out of it as much as possible. Maybe also trying to convince people not to ask her any more questions, or I don't know if it isn't her, but it is the Queen over here on the card anyway. Could also be a male who has that similar type of energy. Somebody who is trying to look the other way, literally, and also sundowning this whole investigation. So somebody willfully not wanting to cooperate, and I'm guessing that they know more, but I just don't want to come out and say anything. All right, let's see. We have the Two of Swords. They may be thinking about something and trying to make up their mind. I'm guessing this is still the Queen of Swords. She may be trying to decide whether she should or whether she shouldn't. And I'm guessing that they're not entirely unwilling to divulge any sort of information, but I'm guessing there's also something that is in their own background, something that they know of that they want to protect. Like, even though there may already be a lot of damage done due to the past in this person's life, they don't want that last piece of facade to get struck down by lightning. As you can see here, that lightning was the only thing keeping up the mask. And it looks like one of those drama masks, like theaters tend to have a happy face and a sad face. This looks like the sad face mask. Happy face may have disappeared a long time ago. This may be somebody who is living a life full of lies, deceit, bad things in the past that they kind of just want to keep buried. But they may also know that eventually they are going to have to talk, and that is also going to basically bring an end to whatever bond she may have had with another person or with her past. Somebody who may want to feel like their past was better than it actually was, and if they were to say, actually, I do know something about Lindsey, that's going to tear open some wounds and also close a bunch of doors that they're still trying to keep open, even though there really isn't much sense to it because this tower has already been broken down in the past, so there's really not much to save, but they may feel like there may still be a chance. So that's maybe something that needs to happen first, that they come to that realization that there's nothing to save before they actually start to cooperate. But let's see what else we can get. Now we have the King of Pentacles on its side. All right, so there may be somebody who is hesitating about supporting or may not have a lot to support with. There isn't a lot of resources, but they try to do what they can. So I'm guessing this is more from the investigation side of things. Somebody who wants to support, and maybe somebody who tends to support these types of cases in particular, but doesn't know that they can play an even bigger role in this particular investigation. So they kind of just spread their donations and hope that something goes well, but it's not a very focused donation as well. We got the 10 of Swords on its side, and I'm guessing this is, I feel like this is a similar vibe to that tower that we had over there, because 10 of Swords is a Darkest Before the Dawn. You normally see a person very well completely stabbed to death laying on a coastline looking at a sunrise. But here they don't even want to seem to lift their head to look at anything. Like they just want to stay in that misery. So maybe this King of Pentacles is also related to the Queen of Cups, or it's the same person but then in a different energy, like almost feeling guilty, and that's why they do donate to this cause, maybe in time, maybe in resources, maybe just helping out, but they don't want to get too close to the actual matter because that comes too close to their old wounds. Oh, yeah, okay, I just kind of tossed that, but I'm going to grab them anyway. We have the Knight of Cups. I was going to say King, but it's the Knight of Cups. Only really focusing on their own feelings. So this person really doesn't want to get hurt. Whatever it is that they know they don't want to reveal because it would hurt them. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles, but we're looking at the side of the Apprentice. They may get some type of revelation at some point, like helping would maybe help not being saved, or because this kind of looks like over here on the right, the Judgment Day scenario that people were also thinking was going to happen recently. Kind of struggling to get the word. Rapture, like that. It kind of feels like because this person is making spectral pentacles over here, and they look like they've been working on this for a very long time, but it's not really coming to anything physical. They're not really making anything, and they start to consider the Apprentice and also consider their own immortal soul over here on the right, thinking that maybe this is going to stop them from entering the kingdom of heaven or something that they may believe in. They may come to a realization that they should help out in this case because it would also benefit their immortal soul type of thing is what I'm getting from over here. Like it would do their own soul good to speak the truth and get it off their chest is what I'm saying here. And then they feel like that would not weigh them down when they do come to pass. And it may also be something that they're going to wait with doing until it is almost time for them to pass. Like they're going to keep in this denial for a very long time until they are focused or at least confronted with their own mortality. And then they're like, okay, I have to do the right thing because now I still have time to do the right thing. And might as well, because otherwise there might be consequences that I cannot even foresee right now. So hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later that they come to that realization. And that we'll see more about Lindsey and her fate and her current whereabouts. But that is what I'm seeing for Lindsey Jill Nicholls. I hope you found that interesting. Make sure to leave a comment and a like. That really helps the channel along. If you want to subscribe, that's even more appreciated. In any case, hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.